Hey, welcome to a foreigner in the Philippines. So, well, I'm on my evening walk, so let you have a look. I have lots of company tonight. I got 6 dogs. Come on, no sitting down on the job, Bogey. This is Bogey. This one doesn't belong to me. This is Tiger. This is Red. Wow, it's surprising how green everything looks. These are the rice fields, and the dark lines across each show you the tiers as they go up. These are poor man's rice terraces. Okay, and those lines that go across, they all go up, and they go up to a little area there where there's a hammock, and whoever's on duty can just pull on the strings and it will hopefully distract the birds. Bogey, Red, come on. Come on, let's go. We're actually at 5 o'clock in the evening now, and it's still pretty hot. Come on, Red, let's go. It's nice to have the dogs along. Look at that. You know what? I still look at that and think I'm very lucky. There's our six coconut trees. Actually, that hill that they are on is where Art and Maria Therese got married up there. That was where they had their reception. Of course, they got married at the town hall in the Taffy. And over there you can see that's Manorado's house, and that's our little collection of houses up there. You could say 5 families all living within fairly close proximity to each other. And that one there is Julio's, and his family live there. Here you're supposed to know which trees are which, and I learned this by example and experience. That's a lumboy tree there, which has a funny association for me. It has a fruit that can be harvested, and the way that it was harvested the last time was we took a tarpaulin along with us, and one of the kids climbed that tree, and we laid the tarpaulin out underneath the tree, and he climbed up into the tree. I think it was Echo, that's BB's brother. He climbed up in the tree and shook the branches, and down comes the fruit. And then we go up and we pass the first Gemelina tree. This used to be bigger, but for some reason they cut part of it down. Still pretty big. And once we pass that Gemelina tree, Gemelina, by the way, is a hardwood. I don't think it's considered a really high quality hardwood, but I've seen some of the furniture that's made down in Itafi with Gemelina, and it is beautiful. It's a beautiful wood. We go up here. This is the second Gemelina tree. Turn left at the Gemelina tree. I remember when we had our instructions on how to find the property of Mitch. Come on, boys. We were instructed to drive about, I think it was about 2 miles. We drove 2 miles and then we were told to turn left at the lumboy tree. And that proved to be accurate. Now, because it's already 5 o'clock, not sure how far I'll walk today. Look at this now, all these shadows are long because the sun is quite low now. Well, 5 o'clock it would be. That's what I love about this landscape, is that it's ever changing. So all the low spots go into shadow, and all the high spots, of course, are nice and brightly lit. Oh, a little bit of smoke down there, look. I'm never quite sure how these fires that we see, I don't know how they become lit. I know that when I was in California, fires could be started by a bottle being thrown away as trash by some irresponsible traveller through that place, and then the sun can hit the bottle, go through it, and it almost acts like a magnifying glass. If you ever were shown how to set a fire with a magnifying glass by focusing the sun's rays, the same thing happens with a bottle, and maybe the reflection on a can, not quite sure, but these fires do occur, and boy, you can't approach them. They're for some reason extremely hot. Cannot imagine what those firefighters went through in trying to do their job in Australia recently, in all those terrible fires. Which we don't hear very much of now, do we? They seem to have them under control, when it seemed at one time like the entire continent of Australia was going to be consumed by fire, and all of those millions of animals that lost their lives. Okay, what's the... this must be a place where the dogs leave their name and address by cocking their leg. And now everybody's checking out. This is the equivalent of K9 online. Thank you, Tiger. You. Yes, that's how you do it. Thanks for demonstrating. And this is Basher. You look at Basher. She used to be the alpha dog. Boy, the other dogs didn't cross Basher. Let's move this out of the way. She was tough, but she got caught in the truck. These dogs seem to they seem to enjoy playing chicken when the truck is coming up the drive. And she must have got clipped on that back leg. Come on, baby, you can do it. This is Yoda. Yoda, Yoda, come on. Yoda was another casualty. No, that's not an invitation to jump up, okay? Go on. Or you, no, get down. Come on. Yoda got caught one night when we were going out. And we thought that was it. Yoda was done for, but took him to the vet, and his right eye was hanging out on his cheek, and he had a broken jaw and some other stuff. We thought that was it. And in the West, I know that they would have put the dog down. He was only a young puppy then. Young enough to be out on his own, but young. And the vet said, no, we don't euthanize. Euthanize dogs, animals, and we think that he has a 75% chance of surviving. So there he is, living out his 75%. And there's Basher. She's going for a three-legged walk. Now, forever saying about the dogs that they're not pets, which is not really true, because they make themselves pets, don't they? They worm their way into your affection. Poggy is a bought dog, and Red is a bought dog. The others are happening dogs, in that they happened. And we have 3 little dogs right now at the house, at Nana's house. Three, it might be four little dogs that have happened. And the smallest, oh no, she didn't come. She started off by coming with us, but now she's left to go home. And she is the one that's had the puppies. Whenever I drive through here, this takes us down to the road. I always look at these trees. These are palms, and they give off a fruit. There's something there to be harvested, it looks like big bundles of red tomatoes. And I always think that this has been abandoned. As you can see, nobody's taking care of these lovely trees, and all of that dead stuff should be cut down. This is a big palm plantation, and look, they're actually laid out on a grid system, and I know it's difficult right now because they're very close together, and as I say, really need to be pruned down, but you can see that they're in lines, sometimes more obvious than others, but here you've got 1, 2, 3, and again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here somebody has cut down one of the leaves, one of the branches. And we try to keep that cut down because it creates havoc on the truck. See, even this will drag itself across the roof and certainly won't do any good. Come on, Porgy. Let's go. So you can see the line there. Look, 1, 2, 3 across the road, 4, 5, 6, and going on up and over the hill. I never go across these hills. There is a danger of snakes. Snakes live here. It's their country. This is their home. And in among this grass, which actually is quite rough. And if you've got shorts on and you're ploughing your way through this grass, you don't take it in at the time, but boy, when you get home, you realize it's been quite hard on the skin. So now, for all you guys who think I'm hard on Beth when we're driving, this is a road. This is the one where she almost hit on the side there, but it was better for that to happen than to come over here. Now I'm hard on her because I can't put my foot down there. It's already disappearing, and it's going down maybe 40 or 50 feet. It's going into like a ravine there. And by looking at the grass, you cannot tell how far that would go. Well, here there's been a burn. See, but going over there wouldn't be a laughing matter. So I'm hard on Beth. Beth naturally is one who laughs at everything. She's the yin to my yang, or is it the other way round? But anyway, here's a place here where it's the potential for that to give away, and once again tumbling. That would not be a driving down there on 4 wheels, it would be a tumbling over and over sideways. See, look how beautiful that little valley is there, which is so green. It's got so much there. Then there's a house up there. There's a house that you can see just to the left of that high point, those high trees. That's a little hill there, and then off to the left is a house. Now I'm sure that Beth, with her ever since childhood knowledge of these hills, knows exactly where everything is, and she would know whose house that is. There's only, let me see, I think there's only John, another expat, or Philip, or maybe even Tom, a returning Filipino who's a friend of Ricky. And that house is up there. That house is probably the only light other than Oping. And Oping is our Filipino neighbor, our good neighbor and friend. So this is a little area now where we often see carabao, and when it's the rainy season, the folks who live, sorry, that's the title of a song, Folks Who Live on a Hill, and they take care of some cattle, some carabao, and this accepts a lot of water, and you can see how the footprints are in here. This is where the carabao come and lie, and what they do is, I don't know whether you've seen carabao, but they are tormented by flies, hence the old terrible joke of a carabao makes good company. 50 million flies, can't be wrong. But there are pools there, and this is all low, and it for whatever the composition of the soil, clay here is, all of this becomes heaven for the carabao. And if they lie down in that and roll around a little, they get covered in mud, and the mud hardens, and it makes it very, very difficult for the flies to torment them, because it's not flesh anymore, it's mud. And the dogs love these walks because they get to explore, and they're all together, of course. There's Hopalong. Basha! Basha! What you doing? What you doing? How you doing on those three legs? Huh? Hey? See, Basha is now getting to be a little bit battle worn, because she doesn't win all of the fights now. And that's Yoda again, and Tiger. Tiger is the one that worries the baby carabao. And up there you can see the house. That's what we call the secret house on the mountain. We used to have a lot of critics because of our titles that we put on places, houses, and on people. And our subscribers, or some of them, didn't seem to understand that. Okay, we're turning around. Come on, let's go. Come on, Poggy. Red. See, the shadows are getting long. My 12-foot shadow, 15-foot. But our subscribers who did take exception to the names, thought that they were inappropriate or unkind, and yet the names stick. Like Beth and I still refer to that house there as the secret house, because that's what it is to us, still the secret house. And we used to always see patrolling up and down here on Carabao, we used to see a family of kids. We never saw the parents, of course, but we would see Geraldine was the oldest, and then I think another 2 or 3 were brothers going down to the smallest, and they, for want of another reference, we always saw them with the Carabao, so they became the Carabao kids. And if we see any one of them now, other than Geraldine, who is growing into a young lady, like Talik, Lick and Bibi, and we say, that's one of the Carabao kids. See, even now, we did our deliveries yesterday of groceries to the people, the families that we have been supporting for the last year at least, and many of them we met through church, but Urbano, who is the most well known, is the blind man. He used to be a taxi driver in Cebu, and then something happened. I don't think he had an accident, he's unscarred, but he lost his sight. I'm guessing that it wasn't overnight, but something happened, and we met him when he was living in what was little more than a chicken shed, is how it looked. And we gave him a mattress because he was sleeping on a bamboo wooden slat bed. But what we saw as soon as we went in to talk to him was that there was virtually no roof, and the floor of this shed was like this, and it had been raining. It was the rainy season, and it was mud on the floor. When we went back to see him, because as we walked away I said, we have to build him a house, and that's what we did. Well, now that we go back, if you saw the video yesterday, you'll see his name is Urbano, but we still call him the blind man. Some names stick. You have some of the names. You have the house of the paralyzed man. You have you can hear from here, you can hear there's fire started over there. Look. Now you can see the flames. Now I'll hope that isn't coming our way. Wow, you really can see the flames. Here, so we have the blind man. A lady came to us who was about to be thrown out of her house, and she had found a very simple house that was very close by, and they were willing, the owner was willing to sell it to her, just the house, for 3,000 pesos. Would we help her? So we went and looked, And the way that it worked out, they wouldn't sell the house. They decided to use it for something else, and we built a very simple house for her, which was about, I don't know, maybe 10 feet by 10 feet, and we called her the pregnant lady, because guess what, she was pregnant. So these names arrive, and they're not difficult. We used to go past two houses